The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
The role of a woman in the society is to submit. Birth control are the pills of the devil. Education is so fundamental to the development of a people. Hang murderers. Simple as that. What am I voting for? Voting will change nothing.
Tout le monde haïtien, como ye. God save the Queen.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On my way to the studio, there was a little spry. So please drive safely. Broadcasting live from ILTV Studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. Welcome to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. I'm a Justice of the Peace here on the island of New Providence. And of course, I'm a member of the local Christian Catholic community. I want everybody to drive safely. I'm going to have me a special guest, and I'm going to talk some politics. But the top of the news is the Minister of Transport, Franklin Campbell. There is more developing controversy as to whether or not he is a citizen of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. This afternoon, I was listening to the press briefing by the Prime Minister press attaché, Asa Newbold. And from what Ace is saying, it appears that Franklin might be a fraud. But I know he's not a fraud. It just happened that Ace Newbold is untrained and certainly wasn't careful about what he was saying. But from what Ace is saying, he puts Campbell in further embarrassment. So we're talking about Frankie, and then of course the Prime Minister has returned to the capital and he's preoccupied with Dominica. And then my brother in the church, Deacon Jeffrey Lloyd, is questioning who is Christian. But since he wants to be personal with those of us who profess Christianity, I'm going to question his Christianity. But I tell you a story about him and his daddy. And then I'm going to ask you if you think he's saved. And then I'm going to also tell you a story about the new Bahamas ambassador to Washington, Sidney Colley, and why I think the Americans should not allow Mrs. Colley to go to America with Mr. Colley. She's done nothing wrong. She's done nothing criminal. But I will explain it. And so I ask my people, the Haitian people, to stand with me as I examine some of the things that those citizens who have Haitian heritage, what they're doing and what they're not doing. So we're going to look at Frankie, because Frankie is on the wrong track. And I cannot believe that Franklin Campbell ain't sure what he is. But we'll talk about it. We'll talk about the political sense of the F&M, and I'll introduce you to my guests when I return This is Freedom March. Be right back in a few minutes.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker. I have a special guest in the studio. And of course, let me start off by welcoming Mr. Obi Roberts. He is currently a vice chairman of the official opposition Progressive Liberal Party, and he is contesting a new position within the party when the Progressive Liberal Party, the PLP, meets in convention this month, and he shall be contesting the office of Deputy Chairman of the PLP. Obi Roberts, welcome, here's my hand, to Freedom March.
Good afternoon, Rodney, and thank you for welcoming me on your show. It is indeed a pleasure to finally come on your show, one of the most watched shows, if not the most watched show in the country.
You really think so?
It is not my opinion, but when I hear it from all persons, and you see it on Facebook on a continuous basis, people are tuned in and engaged, and they comment consistently on every show that you have prior to election, and that remains the same now.
Well, Brother Roberts, if you keep flattering me, I can assure you, you will get lots of invitation. But I welcome you to Freedom March, and I shall be engaging you shortly.
Yes,
but
sir.
you know, I have to run on. Folks, today, the former Progressive Liberal Party Member of Parliament and Minister of Labour and National Insurance, the Honourable Shane Gibson, he returned to the Magistrate Court this morning. There he received a voluntary bill of indictment. I went to the light-skinned Negro lady, Candia Dames' page, because Candia keeps me up to date on what is taking place. So I'm going to be reading a statement that Candia had on her Facebook page, written by a light-skinned Negro man by the name of Travis Cartwright Carroll. Former Minister of Labour and National Insurance, Shane Gibson, was served with a voluntary bill of indictment, VBI, in the Magistrates' Court today. The charges against him were reduced from 39 counts to 31. He's charged with 15 counts of extortion, 15 counts of bribery, and one count of misconduct in public office. Magistrate Sabusola Swain said it is alleged that Gibson extorted $250,000 from Jonathan Ash. He is further charged with accepting bribes from Ash in the same amount. Ash had a multi-million-dollar contract with the former government. Gibson will appear before Justice Bernard Turner on October 20th at 10 a.m. He has 21 days to provide an alibi. Numerous relatives and supporters came to the court complex, but only a few were allowed in the courtroom. Attorney Wayne Monroe and Anthony McKinney represented Gibson, who appeared to be in good spirit. So that is the top breaking news here on Freedom March, that former Minister Shane Gibson appeared in the Magistrate Court today. He's been given 21 days to give an alibi. You know, based on the charges, he got to tell the court where he might or might not have been. And originally, the Free National Movement government brought 39 charges against him But by the time they presented the voluntary bill of indictment, it was reduced from 39 to 38. So that is what is taking place here. Meanwhile, the office of the Attorney General is on a fast track to hell. I'm going to talk to you in parable because the F&M is mean and spiteful. And I am an F&M, and they're trying to get me. So I'm going to give you a story. This happened about 39 and a half years ago. Okay?
Wow.
Where the Attorney General office degenerated. The civil servants in the Attorney General office were not being paid. So what do you think happened? Perhaps it was 45 years ago. The next thing we know, the files in the office of the Attorney General pick up and walk out the office. Nobody took it out. It just walked out. And then we had all kinds of report 45 years ago where person working in the office of the Attorney General was suspected of accepting bribes from all kinds of notorious character. You hear me? It was one big joke. Now, this Attorney General, if he does not be careful, his office is walking towards the same destruction. 45 years ago, you could have buy a prosecutor. You hear me? You could buy the prosecutor. You know? You could say like, prosecutor, 50 years ago, 40 years ago, I got to read the Commission of Inquiry again and see what all it was doing. You could have said to the prosecutor, now listen, I applying for bail. I know y'all ain't got no money. Don't object, eh? I'll give you a couple dollars. Carl has to be careful that we do not allow in this modern day for this Attorney General office. All right? I'm not accusing them of anything because I've met a number of the lawyers there. These are fine and charming and educated people. But there was a letter sent to the Prime Minister which warned him of the importance of the Attorney General office and the counsel who represents the government in the court. Can you imagine? Suppose I was a lawyer. Based on the hard condition taking place there, I could say, I can give you all one $200. Don't challenge me when I get before the court. Can you imagine that? Carl, be careful. Carl Battle, be careful. Pay the people their money so that wicked people will not lead them into temptation. I'm going off in the spirit. And as I go off, I'm hearing voice in my head. I'm imagining these things. It's kind of crazy. But in my head, I see something. I see a lawyer. Goodness me, look like he's from the Attorney General office. In my head, I see a wicked man who's another lawyer trying to get bail. And in my head, he offered a lawyer in the Attorney General $200. And in my head, I say to him, I forgot that was corruption. I said, man, you're so cheap, whore. Only $200. And then I woke up. So, Carl, I seen things. Things, Carl. And since you know, I'm crazy. You may accept it or reject it. All right? Anyway, I'm coming back to reality. Coming back to reality. The things are disappearing. Things are disappearing. I see things. I see things. I hear things. And people is telling me things. Okay? I wonder which one that was. Am I seeing things? Am I imagining things? Or did a Negro reveal it to me? I can play safe. I ain't gonna say nobody reveal it to me. I'm gonna play crazy It's in the back of my head. I'm saying things, Carl Bettel. Carl, be careful of 45 years ago. I'll drink some water and I'll come back to reality. I wonder where my spiritual advisor is. I could use some prayer. As I see things, I have my guest. I'm going to bring him on on the next break. I'm saying things. I'm saying Frankie. Frankie looks like a County Joe man who named James Albury. He's the MP for South Abaco. He was born in West Palm Beach. He has 2 citizenship, dual, an American and a Bahamian. And I want to know, can ministers tell me, did the member of parliament for South Abaco, James Albury, did he renounce his citizenship? Has he? I don't know. I asked the question. All I know, he's carrying out the policy of victimization in Abaco. All them people that was hired in Abaco, in the office of the Prime Minister, under Minister reign, he's allowed James Albury to fire them and bring on some other people. But that must stop. James Albury, he was a County Joe man. How you get mixed up in all this foolishness? What you doing with your big fat self? I might as well call you big fat because your wickedness has reached me here in Nassau. And I want you to know that I am a descendant of Green Title Key. And a lot of them County Joe is my daddy family. So I want you to stop it, eh? All right. It's amazing. I'll bring you on the next go-round. I just have to run on. All right? Got to run on. Carl is losing control of the Attorney General office. And in my mind, I see things. I'm seeing somebody from the Attorney General office in my mind. This ain't real. In my mind, he is negotiating with a wicked lawyer. $200. $200! And don't challenge me in the courts. Man, I'm having a fantasy just going off. Goodness of mercy. I'm so happy that it's only in my head. So, I'll be looking at some of these things that are going on. I want the office of the Attorney General to get their money because this is a country. We saw it where in the 80s and in the 70s, all kind of nonsense took place in the Attorney General office. The file them used to walk out. You only have to call the file by its name. Just call the file by its name and it got up and walk out. But I tell the F of them, that ain't gonna happen no more in this country. All right? But don't forget now, I'm saying things. All right? I'm saying things. So please forgive me, because you know, I'm saying things. So that's what's going on in the country. So we'll be talking about the Prime Minister returning, and we look at Jeff Lloyd. He's calling. Here's a man who's telling people they ain't safe. I'll talk about that, and I'll show you why Jeff and Sidney Colley wife ain't safe. I'll tell it. But first, I must reveal it in Haitian Creole, because Sidney's wife, she is one of my people. And I don't want the American embassy to let her go. Send Sidney, let her stay, because there's some responsibilities that I have for her. I have some responsibility, and the two can't go. So Sidney, you go to Washington and leave Mavis Latusma Akmoa. Leave her with me, because I have work for her. And I promise the men from the Nailers Club that I shall speak truth to power. I'm going to do it, my brother. It's amazing. I'm going to do it. Marvis la tousma, ma pa besmen nou, pou ale na etizinye ak Sydney Colley, paske map game, am pil travay pou nou. Mavis la tousma, I'm not going to allow you to go to the States with Sydney Colley, because I have lots of work here for you. And I'm very displeased because my people from the countryside has disclosed that you're not doing some work. And I have to tell Mavis Latusma, Mavis, stop it. So, I don't know. I got all kind of work here today. Sydney again, but I shall appeal to the Americans to let Mavis stay in Nassau, because I got work for Mavis. Mavis, ki kote pou seche pou papa nou, yon gason, gran moun gason di, ou pa seche pou papa nou, papa gangou, papa malade, papa page l'argent, ou pa seche pou papa, toutan, am pil moun, seche pou papa nou, papa cry. I di, ou gen am pil power, ou pa seche pou li, pou ki sa ou pa want pou fe sa. But oujodi a, map explike sa, pou tout anglais pou kone sa. So, that's what's going on. Sometimes I go off in the spirit. And I'm going off today because Mavis is on my mind. And Mavis has done piche. Mavis map kune piche ou. Mavis, I know your sins. I know Mavis' sins. And when I come back, I'm going to bring my guest on because he's running for election in the PLP. Papa nou ki nase la, se pou nou, respekte ou. Mavis la tousma, genye, ampil piche. Piche la, Mavis genye, ampil piche. Mavis has a lot of sense. I have a lot of sense. Jeff has a lot of sense. And I have to discuss it. This is Freedom March. My special guest is Obi Roberts. When we come back.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV Studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker. My spiritual advisor, praise the Lord, Bradley Roll, is here. Bradley, welcome to Freedom March.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Monker.
And of course, our special guest today is Mr. Obi Roberts. He is a member of the opposition Progressive Liberal Party, and in the upcoming election, which is to be held in the month of October, the PLP is having convention. Obi, who is currently a vice chairman in the PLP, will now go one notch higher. He is to seek the office of deputy chairman. Mr. Robert, once again, Welcome to Freedom March.
Thank you again, Rodney. It's indeed, like I said earlier, indeed a pleasure to be here, to finally be on your show. You're one of the most popular watch shows in the country, and a lot of people are actually tuning in and listening to the show right now.
Wow, that's powerful. Now, so Mr. Roberts, you are seeking the office of Deputy Chairman of the Progressive Liberal Party.
Yes, sir.
Why?
Well, Rodney, anyone who has been watching the political landscape in our country over the past, I would say 10, 15 years, know that we are going through a transition. There's going to come a point that some of the persons who are led this country, whether it's FNM or PLP, but particularly with the Progressive Liberal Party, persons were eventually going to step off the scene, and then new faces were going to emerge to carry the baton to another level in the Progressive Liberal Party. May 10th was a very disappointing day for us in which we lost the election, and which we now find ourselves in a position in which we have to rebrand ourselves, rebuild ourselves with new individuals in the party, with new vision and focus and energy in which we could bring the Progressive Liberal Party back to its prominence and in the upcoming, well, the next general election 5 years from now.
Are you related to the current chairman? Because as I watch you through my monitor, you looks like him. Are you related to him?
Yes, I am. I'm related to the current chairman, Bradley Roberts. He is my father.
Okay. Why is he seeking office for chairman of the party again?
No, he has decided to retire. He said this will be his last time. Actually, he thought after the 2004, when he had stepped down as national chairman under the first Perry Christie-led government, he didn't think this was going to be another time that he was going to return. 2009, at the party's convention, he was voted in successfully as national chairman again, and he continued that on until this coming convention, in which this will be his final time.
While the focus ought to be on you, for a second I'd like to be distracted. I'm kind of disappointed in hearing that Bradley Roberts will not seek re-election as chairman, because I think in this period of political struggle, Bradley Roberts seems to be the best choice for me. And now I'm feeling a sense of political insecurity because he's leaving the scene. You don't have to answer that if you know, but I just taught my spiritual advisor that I felt kind of
disappointed. But he makes a very important statement in his opening remarks, right?
What is that?
Here it is, that we recognize that there are going to be some men who served the country well, from the former Prime Minister to now the current serving chairman of the Progressive Liberal Party in the person of Bradley Roberts. They've served the country well, and now they're moving off the scene, right? And there's a passage of scripture in the Bible that says, listen, the student is not above the teacher, you know, but when he is fully trained, he can become just like the teacher. No doubt the Progressive Liberal Party have men in place who were trained, who can now grab hold of that baton that's going to be passed to them. Same case with Moses and Joshua. All right, when Moses was phased off the scene, Joshua was the one who took the people into the promised land. So hopefully my good friend here, Mr. Obi Roberts, and those who are being trained by the Progressive Liberal Party can pass the baton. So there's no need to feel disappointed. I'm sure Mr. Roberts, if he's tuned into the show, would agree that, listen, all of these men have served their time. You can't be in those positions forever. I think we make a fundamental error when we don't train our young men to take this baton. And like he says, he said it well, take it to another level. Because no doubt the Progressive Liberal Party, in the words of Chester Cooper, has to be rebranded. All right? It has to now change its face. Maybe even some of his political policies and philosophies in order to, like he said, within the next 5 years, regain, if possible, because you know it's the people's time, the government, you know. But he said it well, and I'm proud of that. Okay, you know? Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Mr. Roberts, what, in terms of organization of the party, what can we expect from you?
Well, Rodney, if by the grace of the voting delegates and the Starville councilors that they vote for me. My observation in terms of where we probably experience some of our problems leading into May 10th and leading to our loss, we have some, I would say in my opinion, and this is my opinion, some infrastructural issues that we have to address. Our message did not resonate or was not widely circulated amongst our members who could take our message to the highways and byways of the country. Primarily, we did not have consistent branch meetings, as the Progressive Liberal Party has been known to have over the years. The branch in each constituency serves as a church, which everyone comes to meetings on a regular basis for information, to receive the information, to convey the information to persons throughout the constituency. We did not have that.
What went wrong?
Primarily, many persons felt that our public relations was not strong or was very suspect. Me, on the other hand, I have a different opinion of it. I figured that many of us in the country are reliant on a handful of individuals to disseminate information throughout the party. 30 years ago, 40 years ago, we did not have cell phones, or the cell phones that we have now. We didn't have WhatsApp. We didn't have this type of technology in terms of the computer for us to convey our information or to send our information out. But the information was circulated by word of mouth because persons attended branch meetings consistently. People communicated, and they were very aware, educated, and informed on what was going on in that constituency, what was going on in the country nationally, and they took it throughout the entire constituency. And it was one message. We did not have that this time. Another thing that was consistent, we have the Tribune and the Guardian, which in some persons' opinions, many people feel are anti-Progressive Liberal Party. We have them here now, and we had them there 30 years ago. But we still was able to get our messages out. Why? Because it was a collective effort, not a singular effort or an effort by a handful of individuals. The best way to get the information out is to tell your people by word of mouth. Meetings is the reason why you bring people together to inform them. Just like how you have a march, you bring people together for a common purpose. Everyone sits down and discuss what is going on, to be informed, to be educated, and they take that message to their friends and family and whatever, wherever they go. We did not have that. If we have certain challenges in terms of our communication, and it's not in the newspaper, or it's not on social media, one thing has not changed. Word of mouth is the best form of communication that you can have in this country or anywhere else you go. This is one of the things where we fell down. People weren't aware of what the Progressive Liberal Party accomplished. From the various different ministries, no one was oblivious.
Even though we are in an age of perhaps the greatest communication, technological, machinery skills. What happened to your smartphone?
And you know what happened also?
What happened to the computer? What happened to social media? Or did you allow my party, the FNM, to beat you all with a bunch of fake news?
Aha, you got it, Rodney. The fake news was the key ingredient in terms of public relations.
Fake news is lies.
Exactly. Because you know why, Rodney? If you allow me? If you attend branch meetings consistently and you communicate to your members and they are aware of what is going on in their party, then they can rebut the fake news. They can ignore the fake news. But since if we don't have consistent branch meetings and know what is going on through our country, you will accept anything that is thrown at you.
Why the PLP under Pinling and Hanna had a history, which I've seen in modern times, just disappeared. One, every year there was convention.
Yes, sir.
But this new generation of PLP, for whatever reason, will not hold convention every year the way Pinling and Hanna did it. Right? What's gone wrong? Is it a generation of lazy people or a generation of people who do not remember the party history.
And that's another thing to touch on when you go to party history, but to touch on what you said in terms of the convention. I'll say one thing for certain that contributed to our 8-year delay of having a convention. We also had a few hurricanes.
For 8 years?
8 years we did not have a convention.
Man, Penman had convention even when the hurricane was coming.
Exactly.
What the heck is this?
Exactly. But also, we did experience some devastating damages to our southern Bahamas with Joaquin. And then Matthew last year destroyed and flattened Low Sound Andres, also Grand Bahama. These are the things that also led to us postponing our convention, and we held it early this year in January. But that's another thing.
Can I get a commitment from you that
Yes.
were you to become successful as deputy chairman, that the party will return to annual convention?
That is going to be with the support, because I'm going to advance that to the leadership. We have a leader. We will have a leader, a deputy leader, as well as a chairman, in which I would make that one of my views that we must have it. Because also, within those 8 years, when we had our convention in January, you had PLPs throughout the country who didn't know PLPs. You had persons from Inagua, Ilusra, Bimini, Andres, because it's been so long that we did not have a convention, that we were strangers amongst ourselves in our own party. That's where the lack of communication. Because if I know Bradley is in Andres, I met him several times, we develop a trust, we have the telephone, the WhatsApp information and communicate, then that's how the information is communicated on a consistent basis. It develops a friendship, a trust, and then a reliance on each other. That is what we have to bring back to the Progressive Liberal Party. The consistency of having conventions. Also knowing the party's constitution. Many persons in our party members, even some branch executives, and also some parliamentarians and party officers are not familiar, and I'm speaking past, are not familiar with our party's constitution. And this is the reason why we have to bring back, we got to go back to the foundation, what made us the Progressive Liberal Party.
Now, I understand your contribution here as you talk about the infrastructure to, to prepare the party for organization. What policy initiative have you thought about, or are you still thinking about? Because remember, the party of Pinling and Hanna advocated wiping the tears from every eye, taking care of the downtrodden. But by grab, I haven't seen that in years.
Wow.
And now my party, the FNM, they've gotten lost. My leader is all over Dominica crying.
And not crying for his own
He's
people.
not crying for his people. I've never seen anything like that.
That is very strange.
Now I can understand if Dominica were his outside children, right? But they were his stepchildren. And my God, the outside children and the lawful children, he ain't checking first.
So you can't cry for your stepchildren?
What kind of stepchildren? Frankie is in trouble now because he put too much daddy in media.
Yeah.
And that is what is causing all this problem.
Yeah, that's fake news. Don't worry about that.
No. This ain't no fake news.
That's fake news.
My spiritual advisor, you stop it. All right? You stop it. There's no fake
Talking
news
about
here.
fake news. Listen.
Frank, hold on. Because the woman them have sent me a special note. They said to me, you are distracting me, and I must focus. You stop saying that, okay? Because I have the evidence on Frankie. All right? Don't forget, Frankie is Haitian, and I'm Haitian. All right? So you stop it. Frankie problem.
But I just asked you a question. You can't cry for your stepchildren?
The stepchildren? Them stepchildren never went to the pump and bring water for minutes.
Spiritual advisor. I just find it very odd that the amount of persons that have lost their lives, we had some minors that lost their lives in Foxhill. We had an 8-month-old child that was killed by a stray bullet, and then you have this 8
No. The 8-month-old wasn't killed by no stray bullet.
It wasn't by a stray bullet?
No, the man went in the house and shoot the man behind the baby.
Okay, I stand corrected.
The 8-year-old boy.
Yeah, that's what I was alluding to too.
Yeah.
Was killed by a stray bullet, the 8-year-old. Ministers didn't shed a tear for none of those. That's why people were so shocked that you got up in the House of Assembly We are having murders and various crimes that have taken place in the country, and we had hurricanes that have devastated some of our family islands and Grand Bahama as well. Minister did not shed a tear last year when he was the minister of, when he's the leader of opposition, and he traveled with then Prime Minister Perry Christie, when Low Sound was almost wiped off the map in Andros. No houses, no infrastructure was in Low Sound. He didn't shed a tear there. That's why it was very odd that people found it strange that he was crying for some other country when we have major problems here where people are equally hurting here. And it's happening on a consistent basis, and he just seems to be careless and carefree on his handling it.
Not only that, there are hundreds of Bahamians waiting to see doctor. Can't see doctor. All right? I had to take my wife 5 a.m. in the morning and camp outside the Fleming Street Clinic. And when I thought that my doctor, Dr. Dwayne Sands, turned over, I call him. And he jump up out the bed. I could hear how he jump up. I had to say to him, listen, doctor, my heart is okay, but I'm outside the Fleming Street Clinic with my wife, and some other Negroes are coming to see if we could get an early ticket. And ministers say he come to find doctors for Dominica. But there are hundreds of Bahamians who are waiting. There's a woman now who they wouldn't find an eye doctor to fix her eye.
So you're saying then that a lot of Bahamians are actually waiting to see doctors?
Yes, sir.
There aren't sufficient doctors here.
No.
That's what you're saying? Okay, so if there aren't sufficient doctors, then I guess you're saying, how can we send doctors to Dominica?
Not only that, we're not training any doctors. If this was Cuba, and Comrade Rahul had said that all the revolutionary doctors must come forth and go to Dominica, I would have said, long live Cuba. But minister ain't train nobody. I had at least 2 Negro citizens came to me and complained over the struggle they are getting and having to get into Princess Margaret.
Right.
What the hell minister talking about?
Understandably so, right?
To Dominica.
Spiritual advisor.
Understandably so. But remember now, if you listen to the Prime Minister's statement, he says that when he gets back, he will consult with his Minister of Health.
Man, tell him stop.
Who would have...
He is the last Minister of Health.
But if your intelligence is correct,
yes,
then if your intelligence is correct, it means that the Minister of Health would have that as well. And then him and the Prime Minister would trash that out before a final decision is made.
I know Dr.
In all fairness.
Listen to me. I know Dr. Dwayne Sands. He's going to have to find some doctor for ministers. I know Dwayne Sands. He's going to have to find some doctor.
What if we send 2 or 3?
All right? Listen to me. The United States is there. The Canadians are there.
I think it's all the Red Cross ship is there.
The Red Cross ship.
Yeah.
Why is Menace? How come he's gotten distracted? In this country, Bahamians are catching hell. Haitian children. Right? That is why I'm so happy that Frankie is in trouble. Haitian children.
I don't know if you could say Frankie's in trouble, you know.
You do not have the evidence I have.
You have a lot of questions to answer.
Listen to me. Since I last saw you, I've been giving Frankie 5.
Okay.
All right?
Let's be careful how we deal with the minister, okay?
The minister, tell the minister.
He is not here to answer for himself.
That is not true. He's right here on Facebook watching me.
No.
Frankie.
I understand. He's in Boston. You know, let's not do that. You know, let's not hang the man before we try him. I don't know if that's fair to do. You know what I mean, Mr. Monka?
No.
That's what you're doing.
My spiritual advisor.
You're casting judgment on the man before you have a fair trial.
My spiritual advisor.
Right, go ahead.
The minister is not about to be executed. He has committed suicide. He knows the thinking of the Bahamian people. You listen to me. Yet he went on Darrell Miller's show and exposed us. I had to duck immigration all week.
It's amazing, hey.
Oui, haïtien moi.
It's amazing.
Hold on a second. Tout le monde haïtien. L'air Frankie, allez, na show Darrell
Miller.
Darrell Miller. Il dit, l'air Mama Lee, Avini, Nassau, na bateau, Mama Lee, caché, na cimetière. Il pas bon pour dire ça. Pour qui ça il dit ça? Pukisa. Huh? Why he said that? There was no reason for Frankie to tell Darrell
Miller.
that when Mama Lee came to Nassau on the bateau, Mama Lee, his mother, sometimes I get confused when I go off in the spirit, you see? There was no need for Frankie to tell this nation that when his mother came on the boat illegally, that she cached in the cemetery. What do you have to go through that for? Le ikune ampil anglais pa reme nous. Okay? There was no reason. Bienvenue Haïti, m'a content ou garder na show moi. Welcome Haiti. I'm happy that you're looking at my show. Frankie didn't have to say that. All right? Secondly, Frankie has not been consistent in his public documents. I decided I wasn't going to tell him nothing because he ain't doing nothing for my people, the Haitian people. In one document, Frankie gave us 2 daddy. You don't do that. You make up your mind who is your pa. But he gave us 2 daddy. That's what he did. All right? I understand because I have the Haitian mentality. So I understand what he was doing. But the majority of the Bahamian people didn't understand. Why the heck Frankie has to tell the country he has 2 daddy? Huh? Why you have to do that?
And have 2 passports.
Okay?
So let me ask a question. Does anybody know the identity of the second daddy?
Yes.
Who knows it?
It's in public record. Yon Papa Lee, really? Vanny Blanc. Kikote, I forget you can't speak. Right?
Yes.
And the next one is Edwin Campbell. Okay? Did I pronounce it?
Yes, you are correct, sir.
Yeah. Who's Vanny? Vanny is his...
Yes.
Yeah. All right? And I got to tell him.
Let's not do this because of politics now.
Listen to
no.
me. He is the stupid one who went on Darren.
Mr. Monk,
Listen to me.
I mean,
Listen to me.
Let's be nice,
My
man.
spiritual advisor. He ought to know the thinking of the society. You ought to know it.
Spiritual
What the
advisor.
heck he going on national TV to talk about all this nonsense?
Spiritual advisor, if I may. It was him who brought the attention and the spotlight on himself when he said he had 2 passports. He did not provide clarity on it in terms of that.
So it's safe to assume.
Exactly.
It is safe to assume.
Exactly.
Guess
Hold
why?
on. Because what happened
It is safe to assume.
to Ryan Pinder? What happened to Ryan Pinder in 2010?
But how do we know it's the same case?
Listen,
He admitted to having 2 passports.
and in the context,
But 2 passports doesn't necessarily mean 2
that is
nationalities.
true. But
It doesn't necessarily mean
That
2
is
nationalities,
true.
especially in his case being a parliamentarian. It
No.
doesn't necessarily
But
mean
did you hear what Ace
2
said today?
personalities.
Did you hear what Ace said today? Ace said that he suggested that Frankie born before independence. That's not true. Frankie was born the 1st of July, 1967. Therefore, he could not have citizenship by virtue of being born in the Bahamas.
Okay.
Outside of a Bahamian father
Right.
marrying to his mother.
Right.
He muddied the water.
Right. So
He
then,
muddied water.
so then,
And my best friend, tout le monde haïtien pour connaître, Frankie est stupid parce qu'il connaît un pile
I mean, I don't think you
anglais.
should.
Parle mais haïtien. Moi dis ça. And if you don't like it, my spiritual advisor, I say lick it on mama. And ching wong.
But let's be nice in our discourse on this matter, though. I mean, name calling and stuff like
I'm
this.
not calling anybody
It's
name.
not necessary. You know
Frankie,
what I mean?
listen to me. In the public domain, a search on Frankie will show that he has identified 2 men as his father. You heard me? So you don't do that.
He has yet to clarify it, you know.
Well,
He's-
he'd be
he
given.
said-
He did. Well, the government did say
The government
that,
or him?
well, the
He
government.
has to address the situation,
Right.
not the government.
The government says that he will address the issue in the
Menace!
next session of Parliament.
Menace,
That is what the
calm down!
government says.
He can't know who's Frankie Daddy. Menace wasn't old enough to live.
I think we're
to
going
live
down the
with
wrong
Frankie.
track with this one, man.
Menace, Frankie Cossack. Frankie, stop it. Ma point. Pas expliqué. This is Freedom March. I'll be right back. after the break.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker. My special guest is Obi Roberts. He's running for deputy chairman in the upcoming Progressive Liberal Party convention, which is scheduled to be held this month, October. And then, of course, my spiritual advisor, praise the Lord, Bradley Roll is here. Bradley, welcome once again.
I thank you, Mr. Monker.
In my haste, I mistranslated something, a document, in Haitian Creole to English, and I wish to correct it. Vannie Blanc is Frankie's mother. But Frankie is quoted in two documents in which he identified Jacques Daniel as a father and Edwin Campbell as a father. One obviously might have been a stepfather, but he doesn't say that. He identified Jacques Daniel, Jacques, capital J-A-C-Q-U-E-S, Jacques Daniel, capital D-A-N-I-E-L. That's one document. The next document, he identified his father as Edwin Campbell. I understand that we, having been former slaves, we are caught up sometimes as to who our pa is. Because in the Bahamas, among the Negroes, there is a crisis of identity. I have a bunch of Negro men who want to come on my show to reveal who their real daddy is. And I've said to them, while I support you, I ain't sure I will cross that route. So in this country, children are deprived of name and are upset. So the same historical problem that affected the Bahamas among the Negro slave descendants are identical to the problem that exists in Haiti among that slave population. So when Frankie recklessly disclosed that he had two passports, those of us in politics, we thought about Ryan Pinder and the struggle the PLP had with him. And then we know that James Albury, the County Joe man, in Marsh Harbor, the MP, he was born in West Palm Beach, and the F&M covered that up. Cover it up! And we ain't know today yet if that young man has renounced it. So that's what we're facing. All right? And nobody wants to embarrass Frankie, but it's Frankie. You have to understand Frankie. I too is a bastard. Right? And so they had to straighten me up as well. All right? And that is the crisis here. So Frankie has committed. Now, tout mon haïtien, laisse-moi translate Creole pour anglais. Pardonne-moi, ma parle ça à bon, ok? And là où penser, ou là où penser experience pour tout période qui descendant esclave. Exact problème là. Anglais gagne parce que nous sommes descendants esclaves. Dans Haïti, exactement problème là. So Frankie gagne un pile problème and opposition. Monday, yon explanation. Il pas là pour expliquer. And then, we saw today, when Minister incompetent and press secretary, that man is ignorant, ace new ball. As he set Frankie up, Minister must be trying to get rid of Frankie. As I watched him live on Facebook, there he was suggesting that Frankie born before 1973 or before July 10, 1973, when we know Frankie was born the 1st of July, 1967, and therefore could not qualify for citizenship by virtue of his birth. Oh boy. Listen, and I'm supposed to read some things about the crack in the code? My spiritual advisor, where my thing I miss?
The safe is down there
The
on the
safe?
ground.
You better go bring that safe. And hold it good, because go bring the safe, my spiritual advisor.
Where you mean
Take
put
the
the safe?
camera off the spiritual advisor and keep it on me so he can bring the safe. All right? Because I
ask them if they want you to rearrange this.
my spiritual advisor, just relax. Put the camera on me because they got more codes. Okay then. Well, you will tell me when to do it, on the next adjournment,
Right.
Okay, no problem. So, Obi, you're my special guest. You're running for deputy chairman of the PLP.
Yes, sir.
But I have to test you. Are you really a PLP?
Yes, I believe.
PLP!
All the way.
PLP!
All the way.
Wow, yeah, you're a PLP. So now, what other plans are you thinking of?
Well, you know what it is? I touched on it briefly in terms of establishing a party workshop.
A party
Workshop. Primarily, it should be held at least once or twice a year.
Yes.
Primarily after branch elections or when we have conventions, when you have newly elected officers.
Yeah.
So persons could be fully educated and aware of, particularly with branch executives, their responsibilities.
Okay.
From chairman, from first vice, all the way down to sergeant at arms, they are fully educated and charged with their responsibilities so they can carry it out effectively. I think this also contributes to sometimes the breakdown of the branch, because some persons will come in, they're enthusiastic, they believe in the party, but they don't know the responsibilities that they've been elected to.
Okay.
So we need to have persons thoroughly knowledgeable of their positions and every other position in the branch.
This is powerful.
That is very, very important, because that's the heartbeat of your constituency. If your executives are not aware of their responsibilities or of the party's constitution, how do you expect for them to govern that or run that constituency effectively?
Now, in many political parties, delegates choose and vote.
Yes, sir.
Do you still believe in delegates
Yes,
from constituencies?
Yes.
Or do you believe in a new proposition which is being advanced that every card-carrying member of the party ought to vote at convention?
Well, we have it within our party's constitution that persons who participate in branch elections or delegates elections, there are two distinct aspects of it. Branch elections, you have to be financial and active for 3 consecutive months. To qualify to become a delegate, you have to be financial and active for 6 months, because now you're going into convention.
Okay.
You're now deciding the outcome of your party. As we're looking at now, we have a leadership race and other positions are all vacant. So you have persons who are vying to become leader.
Talking about leader, I'm not trying to get you controversial, but I just want to see if you are bold and brave. As deputy chairman, will you be bold and brave and stand up for the people then?
Oh, most definitely, Rodney. I believe in service. That is what our party is about. In terms of offering yourself to public life, you must be able to serve the people as needed and as demanded.
Cuba! My spiritual advisor, my Spanish. Señorita Buenos Dias.
Buenos dias.
And long live Comrade Raul
Castro.
and the People's Revolution in Cuba. So you were saying that you were brave.
Yes, in terms of offering yourself to public office, there's so many different things, but I just want to U-turn back to what I was saying in terms of, I'm a firm believer as we are offering ourselves in 5 years
Yes.
to become the government. Before we go off ourselves, we have to clear up some of our internal issues. We have to be a clean and united house going forward.
What do you mean by clean?
No, because we have infrastructural issues. That's what I'm speaking about right now. I'm not talking about in terms of...
Okay, so once you get
Yes.
beyond the
Yes.
infrastructural problem,
Yes.
then would you be participating and coming up with policy
Oh, yes.
positions?
Well, see, right now within the party, as we go into the convention, those are where the policies of the party in our constitution, which are being suggested by different persons in the party. You have some persons who feel that, by opinion, some aspects of our constitution may need amending or changes to it that is more applicable to the day's times. And so all persons who are members of the party or branches are open and welcome to submitting suggestions that are sent to the Constitution Committee for review. And if it makes sense to the Constitution Committee, then it's submitted to the convention and then voted by the delegates and the stalwarts, whether they accept the suggestion or they don't accept it. So it's done in a fair and open and democratic process.
You know, I wanted to ask you, why you just don't go for the chairmanship?
Well,
You know, one time, rather than, you know, being vice chair. I think, I mean, you might as well just go for the whole hog, in my opinion.
well, I believe in progress and steps in the party and going up the chain of command one tier at a time.
Okay.
Sometimes in the party you may go further because of certain circumstances. But I feel in terms of the contribution I can make right now, I think the deputy chairmanship of the party is the best place for me right now. And it's a very crucial time in our party right now.
Well, let me ask you something.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we now know that you were interested in becoming deputy chairman. For me, we have my party, the FNM, right?
Yes, sir.
Who's been carrying out some wicked policy in terms of firing people and so forth. In my opinion, the PLP at the party level
Yes.
is not doing sufficiently to agitate, to march, and demonstrate on behalf of the people as the Progressive Liberal Party. Can we see a change?
Yes, sir.
If
Yes, sir.
you are successful, or will the PLP per se fail?
Well, Rodney, if anyone has followed me on Facebook over the years, I've been a consistent advocate for the Progressive Liberal Party and also keeping the government's feet firmly to the fire in many of their activities where they've displayed a lot of inconsistencies.
But I want to see
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm just giving you an
I want
example.
to
I'm just
see
giving you an example.
crabs.
I'm giving you an example in terms of social media.
I want to see crowds.
I would like to take that similar blueprint,
Yes.
but also infuse it with our party's leadership, that we create these different apparatuses, that we will be a focus group and agitate as we see fit the inconsistencies and the flaws
What
of the
I
government.
want to see,
Yes,
the PLP.
yes.
Let's look
we're
at
going to be a very aggressive party coming out of the convention.
And by aggression, you mean carrying out peaceful political action, marching and demonstrating.
That'll be one of many things that we plan to do.
Because Dr. Menace did it, you know. Every Tuesday or Wednesday, he used to march to come back to the Bank of the Bahamas. And one day, as we were marching, a colleague of mine had a crowbar. So
A
I
what?
asked- A crowbar.
Crowbar.
As we were
What's
marching,
he going to do with the crowbar?
I asked him, put that down for minutes, expel me and you the body. So, I need to know. Because I think that the party has to return to the
Yes.
old landmark.
Yes, sir.
When the PLP was known for mobilizing people
You are correct.
and marching them to Parliament. Are you that kind of PLP? Or should I look for another?
I would say this to you, Rodney. And this is my opinion, and only my opinion. I just felt over the past few years we have been a passive organization. I figured after this convention, if successful, and that's only if I'm successful, that we must be on the aggressive. We must be on the attack regarding the
I
government.
want you to use the words that I understand.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to say we must be marching and demonstrating.
Amongst many other things, marching and demonstrating,
That's the word I understand.
but also, Rodney,
Yes.
our message must resonate and be consistent
Yes.
to all throughout the country.
But I want you to address political action.
Yes, in a
Menace-
timely fashion.
Menace beat the PLP because every other day he used to go to the bank. and invite us to come to the bank. Ministerial political action. And he continued until he became stronger and stronger. You have to watch what he did.
Hello.
And so I am trying to hear from you, which I'm not hearing loud and clear, that as deputy chairman, you will advocate that the PLP will put on their shirts.
A battle fatigue, sir.
And they will mobilize the people there.
And take back control of the streets.
peacefully
Yes.
Take
Control.
the streets.
Take control of the streets. That is something that we have lost. We have lost control of the streets. We have lost the narrative on the streets. And that is something that we planned to reclaim coming out of this convention. And if given the opportunity as deputy chairman of the party, these are the things that we want to see take control of and be very forceful and hold the government's feet to the fire, but consistently and persistently. That we must do that.
This is powerful. My spiritual advisor, I can see you are smiling. Throw an F&M question at him for 3 contracts.
Yeah, let me ask you a question, Brother Roberts.
Yes, sir.
Apparently, and the country knows, the F&M had a very interesting campaign. Mr. Monka says that one of the things about the F&M was that they campaigned on fake news. I remember the F&M campaigned on what is called, let me just make sure it says correctly.
Be careful now, spiritual advisor,
Well,
because there's a contract on the horizon.
Well, the F&M put the government feet to the fire, and apparently it resonated with the Bahamian people, and was like, the question was, where did the VAT money go?
Which was a big fat lie.
Okay.
All right, and apparently that was one of the nails in the coffin.
It was.
As I alluded to in responding to Rodney's comments, what we didn't do, in my opinion, we were very passive. We took the Bahamian people for granted that we said that we assumed that they would interpret it as fake news, but it resonated because why? We didn't rebut it, we didn't nip it as quickly as possible, and provided a quality and consistent explanation to the people so they could be aware. A lot of people doesn't understand in terms of the financial aspects of our country in terms of how we collect taxes and where it goes. So they took advantage of many persons who are oblivious in terms of how we collect taxes, where it goes in the consolidated fund.
Right, that was the issue.
And you know what it is?
Consolidated fund.
Exactly. So when you say that to the average Bahamian, and I'm saying average Bahamian because a lot of our people are not aware of it, they just sit there and say, okay, it's a very juicy and compelling story, so it must be the truth. And then it kept continuing, going on and on and on until it wasn't answered, so people started to believe it. And then midterm budget earlier this year, then Prime Minister Perry Christie had provided a very clear and detailed report in terms of where the VAT money was, how much was collected over the period of time and everything else. But by that time, the people's minds were already fed up, and they already indicated that they did not believe the PLP. Now, it's interesting. After May 10th, the election, 3 or 4 days later, F&M chairman Sidney Colley said, oh, we know the VAT money was never stolen. We know nothing was wrong with the VAT money. They just simply didn't do what they said they was going to do. See, and like you alluded to in terms of the fake news, how many things that they put out in the public domain that they found was very compelling. If Menace said if he became prime minister, he's going to sell Bahama, another bogus untruth that he sold the Bahamian people. He also, you had in the papers, 500 permanent residencies will be given to Chinese and 10,000 acres of land in Andros. And people was going to sit there and believe that. Then you also had money stolen from road traffic, monies missing from BAMSI. All of these different government agencies that they said monies were missing.
You better let me take a couple of calls. Hello?
And none was proven to be true.
The Freedom March.
Hello, Mr. Monka.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Robert is speaking the truth. And I'm glad, like, when the FNM get in power and when Mr. Sidney Colley said that the VAT money was accounted for, I was happy that they see the PLP didn't lie. So those who suffering, let them suffer. And those who is called the PLPs, females, sick and salty, like I said before, tell them try buying more salt. Because only salt could season their food.
I thank you.
And I like what Mr. Robert is saying is the facts.
I
And
thank
what you
you.
are saying is a fact.
I thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome to Freedom March. Hello? Come on, speak to me.
Hello, Mr. Monka.
Yes?
How you doing?
Listen, I don't know. Go ahead, speak to Mr. Roberts.
You know that reward you have out for the young lady?
Christina? Love? Chrissy Love? Answer me,
Yes.
answer me. Do you
Huh?
have you found her?
Yeah,
Where's she?
that's still out.
Yeah, $300.
She say, she didn't say, but I get a message for you.
But now don't curse on this live TV, eh? I'm a justice of the peace, and I have children listening to the show.
Okay, she say
Yes? Hello?
the message is let's take that and
Don't curse. You know, Chrissy
Wow.
Love is not safe. Okay?
He was headed right down the road,
Hello?
too.
Welcome to Freedom March. Hello?
Hello.
You have a message too? Welcome to Freedom March.
Yes, it's Grandmama.
Grandma, welcome.
Yes, I would like to give a message to Raleigh Hobie Robert.
Go ahead.
Yes, I'm a steward from West End, and when I come to convention, I will let him know he helped my support.
This is powerful.
Thank
All
you,
right.
sir. Thank you very much, sir.
This is
All right,
powerful.
and I'm coming to meet you.
I'm very appreciative of that, sir. Thank you very
All
much.
right. Okay.
Okay. Hello. Welcome to Freedom March.
Good afternoon, Mr. Munkara.
Good afternoon, my love.
Good afternoon, Mr. Roberts and Mr. Roll.
Yes, good
afternoon,
afternoon.
Mr. Roberts, you are making a lot of sense. You're making a lot of sense. I'm a PLP all the way. You are making a lot of sense.
This is powerful.
Mr. Munkara,
Yes.
you're doing an excellent job. I want you to send a shout out to my cousin. He's all the way in Syracuse, New York. And
Goodness
it's
of
his
me.
birthday today.
What's his name?
Philip Forbes. It's his birthday, and it's coming from his cousin, Brenda May.
Brenda May.
Philip, enjoy your day.
Wow. Philip Forbes. Listen, it's your birthday. And there are some powerful people who were born on this day, including the local Negro professor, Felix Battle. So happy birthday, Philip Forbes.
If you'd like to make a call.
And Philip Forbes, 61 years ago today, my brother passed away. So,
Sorry to hear that.
hello, Laszlo. Welcome to Freedom March. Happy birthday, Philip Forbes. It's from your cousin. Did she say Brenda?
I think so, yes.
Brenda, hello. Welcome to Freedom March. Speak to me. The clock is running.
Sir,
Hey,
how you doing?
listen, I'm here. What's on your mind?
I'm the spiritual advisor.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
Everything is all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Well,
Things
I
are good.
I agree with Mr. Munkar, that word he put to my boy over there, saying you got to march.
Yes.
We got to march to make people to know that where we come from and where we are going.
Oh, speak.
Because I am one of them old woman them.
Wow.
What march from day one. All about in Freeport I march.
Wow.
Are you ready to march again, although my legs ain't good?
We'll push
I'm
you.
ready to march for my rights. And the only way you could get things working is when you march.
How old are you, Mama?
I'm 77 years of age.
Listen, you got to march with me next week, Saturday.
Oh, yes, I'm going to march by God's grace.
This is
So
powerful.
when the new vice chairman get there, he got plenty work to do. And he got good head, and he could do it.
Yes, you can.
Every game a try, he could do it.
Okay.
And we need the young people them to come forth to do it.
Yes.
Okay? I want you to send a shout out to my cousin, Pisey Roll.
Percy Roll. Yes.
He's 80 years today.
You're 80 years
wow.
old today. Happy birthday
Birthday.
to you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Do well, my love.
All right.
Hold the other callers because the clock is about to run on us. Hobby, you building support.
Well, Rodney, the thing about it is this. I speak from passion because what I've noticed.
Terry Ingram,
All right.
I shout out to you. Okay? Listen, folks, my special guest, is O.B. Roberts. He's running for deputy chairman of the Progressive Liberal Party. He promised me that as deputy chairman, he will carry out political action. Freedom March will be back in a moment. Stay tuned.
Do you have something to say to the senator? Call Freedom March at 323-7775. Toll free from anywhere in the Bahamas at 242-300-0045. Freedom March with Rodney Monker, only on ILTV. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV studio. Well, my name is Rodney Monker. My spiritual advisor, praise the Lord, is Bradley Roll. Bradley, welcome back to Freedom March.
Thank you. Thank you.
And my special guest is Mr. O.B. Roberts, and he's running for deputy chairman of the official opposition Progressive Liberal Party. Convention is in October. Give me the caller, and then afterward, let me read this ad. Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, my dear.
How are you all doing today?
We're doing great. How about you?
I'm good. Mr. Roberts.
Yes, ma'am.
I must say that you're making plenty sense. What you're saying is so true. And I wish you the very best.
Yes.
Hello?
Hello? She gone?
You lost that caller, yeah.
Okay.
Hold on, somebody else is there.
Hello.
Hello?
Rodney Monker.
Sir? Speak?
Listen, what's going on with the post office, man? Who in charge of the post office?
Listen, it's Menace. Menace is in charge of everything. What happened?
Yeah, but listen, for the last 6 months, these people can't get their mails, man. What's going on?
They can't get the mails? Well, don't forget, Menace is organizing a spy bill. So maybe they're practicing how to look in your mail. It's only in my head.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. They need to get that straight, man.
Who's the minister responsible for post office? Is it?
I don't know. I asking you now.
It might be Frankie. I ain't sure. I believe it's Frankie.
Well, you're doing a great job as the opposition is concerned. You need to jump on top of that, man. Nobody can get mails through the post office.
Goodness me. Are they spying already? I'll have to investigate, okay?
Yes, sir.
I thank you, my brother. And make sure next Saturday, the 14th of October, we're going to march, all right?
Yes, we'll march, okay.
You're a good man. Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Hey, good afternoon. How you doing, Senator?
Right, you, sir.
All right, good afternoon, Bradley. How you doing?
Hey, what's happening, Anton?
Everything
Now,
good.
this is a real PLP right here.
Good afternoon, Ovi. How you doing?
What's up, Anton? How you doing?
Great, man. I'm just listening, and I'm pretty pleased to be listening right now to hear one of the persons running for leadership of the party at the deputy chairman level announcing on a talk show. And so I just had a few questions, as I'm curious from my personal perspective, and I'm certain the audience would like to hear the answers as well. I'd like to know, based on the fact that you're running for deputy chairman of my party, what are your accomplishments as in your current position as a national vice chairman? I'd like to know what are your accomplishments. I'd also like to know what are your accomplishments as chairman for NPI, and convince me why I should support you to become deputy chairman of our party.
Okay.
Okay, Antoine, you hang up so he could answer, because I got to read one of Sabat's ad.
Okay, well, Anton, let me answer your first question in terms of vice chairman. Currently, we have been mandated to carry out our responsibilities with the various branches throughout the country. The national chairman has given us orders to go to different branches to rebuild the branches, but as you know right now, we are going into convention. So the minimum amount of time that we have had as vice chairs, conducting the branch elections, getting everyone in order to prepare themselves in a routine fashion to go to the convention as we have it on October 22nd to the 25th.
Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
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 Speak to me.
Yes, Rodney, how you doing today?
I'm right here, brother.
Yes, Ruby.
Yes, yes, sir.
Don't listen.
Ruby?
Yes, speak to us. Don't listen to the TV.
And spiritual advisor.
Hey, what's happening? You all right?
Yeah, Obi, you don't have to worry. You got my word, and you got many, many more. So I'm all over you, Obi.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I know who this is. Thank you for calling in.
And please call me after the show.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
All right. All right.
Okay,
sir.
thank you. Let me read this. Okay, hold calls until I read this thing. So, folks, we are now, don't forget, we're trying to crack the code. All right? And Sebastian have been paying out plenty money. I don't understand this. They always tell me that the house normally win, but it looked to me like the house is losing. I wonder what this is. Every other day, they're just paying out all kind of money. Anyway, we are now at level 3, and I'm going to give you a code. But before I tell you all it in English, I have to tell my people. So, tout le monde haïtien, code là, c'est 6 ac 9. Okay? Now, so at level 3, if no one cracks level 2 within 3 days, you get another clue, but it will cost you. At level 3, crack the 4-digit code for $5,000. But if you can't get the code, you'll get another clue and move to level 4, where you can win $500 by cracking the 3-digit code. We'll stay at level 4 until somebody cracks it. When that happens, we'll start all over again at level 1, and you'll have the chance to win $250,000 all over again. And for the first time ever, account and over-the-counter players can play via the in-store kiosk on the web or on your mobile. For web mobile players, well, you simply visit either islandluck.com or ultragames.com and log into your account and select the crack the code link. For over-the-counter players, just select the crack the code link and enter the voucher code at the bottom of your ticket. On behalf of Island Luck and Ultra Games, good luck and happy cracking. Visit islandluck.com or ultragames.com for more information. I appeal to my people, the Haitian people. Ma basement nou pou dre. Okay? Secret. Ma basement nou pou dre 6 ak 9. Okay? And gen sa. And le ou gen, really moi pou di sa. Okay? So.
I got a question from Mr. Roberts.
Go ahead, my spiritual advisor.
Mr. Roberts, like I said before, you made some very, very interesting comments, right? In your opening statement. But apparently it seems as if the way a lot of these political parties are designed, there are times when, let's just say from the last campaign, all right, there are times when the emperor is naked and nobody wants to tell him he doesn't have on his clothes. Do you see yourself in the Progressive Liberal Party being that person if you know the party is in trouble to speak up?
Yes, most definitely.
But there are times when people are very, very afraid to speak against the leadership.
Well, that's some persons, but I mean, if I can only speak for myself in terms of if I see that the boat is going adrift and we have certain problems, and if my suggestions or anyone else who comes to me with suggestions that could basically correct the ship and put it back on its correct path, of course, I will advance it to the leadership. I mean, I will be complicit and I will be just as bad if I sit there and I see something that is happening, that is taking place, and we're going down the wrong path, and I say nothing.
Right. Because apparently, I mean, some things happen, and I think that's what caused the Progressive Liberal Party to lose the election. Nobody had the testicle fortitude to speak up and say to the leadership, listen, we got to go in a different direction, because apparently the people are not listening. We need to change things in order to win the next election, and it didn't happen. And you see what happened? We're looking at 35-4.
Yeah,
35.
The people spoke loud. They spoke loud, and it was just 35-4.
What time is it?
It's the people's time.
What time is it?
Are they feeling that now under this F&M government?
I don't think so. to the little student at St. Joseph, St. Francis Primary School, I promise to give that person that you requested a shout out. Listen, I didn't have pen and paper, and I'm 60, and I forgot the name. So please don't feel bad. What I'll do, I'll stop by the school when I visit my granddaughter, and please have the name written on a paper. And I promise you, I will give the shout out. But I apologize, and my granddaughter couldn't remember what name you say. So please forgive me. My spiritual advisor, do you have text?
Yeah, let me just
and to
read some of these
Professor
texts, yeah.
Felix Battle, who's had a major surgery. Well, Professor, happy birthday. And I thank God that you went into theater, had that surgery, and praise the Lord. And I was happy that after you came out of hospital, you woke me up at 4:30 a.m. in the morning. So Felix, happy birthday. I also welcome the Johnson family who is watching us here on Facebook. They are residing in Canada. Listen, I'm having all kind of problems with the F&M. The Prime Minister, he seems to be on the wrong track. He's now preoccupied with Dominica. But meanwhile, in the nation's second city, Freeport, Grand Bahama, the people are catching hell.
And they gave him 5 seats there.
And he got the whole island. But now he has become a messiah for Dominica and has created serious Negro division, merely because the Prime Minister did not handle this thing right, Johnson family. And then we have Deacon Jeff Lloyd. He's now telling us who are not Christian, because there are people who are questioning it. In Canada, I need you to know that there are hundreds of black children born of Haitian descent. And notwithstanding that Jeff Lloyd is a member of the Bahamas Roman Catholic Church, and therefore has to know the role that a nun by the name of Sister Clotilde, the role she played in the church, which I've held back because I'm setting a political trap for Jeff. Here's a man who is a member of the Holy Roman Catholic Church, but he is a part of a racist policy that denies black Haitian children from coming into school. But it's become politically convenient now to say they could come. All right? So, Canada, stick with me. Give me some text.
Good evening to you, Mr. Monka, and to your spiritual advisor. I hope all is well with both of you. I would like to wish Mr. Obi Roberts the best as he runs for deputy chairman. Have a good evening, gentlemen. Ursula Nan. Mr. Monka, are you coming to Harbor Island Regatta this weekend?
Goodness me. I didn't think about it.
Mr. Monka and spiritual advisor, keep up the good work, putting Mr. Monka in his place. We need you to be strong going up against this monster. David and Goliath. Spiritual advisor, you are David. Remember, God got your back. Ask Mr. Roberts about the Jack Bay's Point in Eleuthera.
I am told that Sabats is watching. Sabats, how come?
Sabas.
How come my spiritual advisor?
Sabas.
I tie tongue.
Why are you messing up the man name? Sabats.
I'm tied down. Sabats. How come all these people winning? They say normally the houses win. You better check that machine.
Yeah, Obi, they want me to ask you about the Jack Bay's project in Eleuthera.
Wow.
And when it will be completed, so Bahamians can, get some jobs.
Well, primarily that is in Roxanne, Eleuthera. a part of the Cotton Bay, near the Cotton Bay development, you see a 2-minute video circulating in which the golf course down there at Jack Bays is being designed by Tiger Woods. So that's presently under development right now, and the timetable, I'm not completely sure when the timetable is for it to be complete, but it's going to be one great development for the people down in South Eleuthera. It's going to create a lot of employment down that way.
Who's doing that?
That is a part of the Eleuthera Properties companies, chaired by Mr. Franklin Wilson.
Okay.
Okay.
Sir Franklin Wilson, excuse me. By Sir
Absolutely.
Franklin Wilson.
Okay.
Mr. Monica, people like the Roberts family and others are not for the grassroots anymore. Helping the small man is no longer the objective. They're living good, so they don't feel the hurt of the small man anymore. Once they're elected, they leave you until election again.
Roberts, you want to comment on that Negro?
I find that very strange. That is a question I wouldn't even bother to ask. If you put the question to other persons throughout the country in terms of that, I don't tend to blow my own horn. Persons know in terms of who I've talked to or assisted or asked me for assistance. Legitimate reasons, I help persons in that way. My father, on the other hand, he can answer himself. His record in terms of what he's done in his life of service as a public servant is well documented.
That's true.
Right,
in fact,
that's well documented.
It appears
I don't even need to defend that.
They're attacking. Okay. I have another attack on you. Can you take attacks?
Oh, well, come on.
Well, let's see what they say. Monica, meetings and PR is not the reasons the PLP lost. They lost because the rich and elites like Roberts does forget to help the poor grassroots in the party and country. The elite seems to only come to the poor people when they want their votes. I say I'm tired hearing about the Roberts family. You don't have to answer that.
Oh, no.
Monica, NAD is trying to charge cab drivers $1 per job. That's good for y'all. That's good for y'all. And why is it good? You failed to recognize why there was a general strike in 1958. You all don't want to be a part of no union? Go. Join the Bahamas Taxi Cab Union. Huh? Just go back to your history. Do to NAD what Randall Fox and Pinling helped to mobilize the union of cab drivers and other workers did. And guess what they did? They declare war. And they closed down the airport. Pinling done dead. Randall Fox done dead. And Pinling left the airport for the cab drivers. Y'all don't know the history. They should charge y'all because, God forgive me, you forgot the history. I wanted to call y'all stupid.
No, you can't do that.
My spiritual advice, I said I wanted to call them stupid, but I shall not. Y'all are my brothers. I showed y'all what to do. Y'all ain't listen. Tell not. You will close down the economy. Just tell them that. Pinling give y'all that airport. You hear me? Him and Randall Fox. Now they're dead. Can you hold on to it? Huh? Goodness of mercy. Y'all don't know any history.
Mr. Monica, tell Mr. Roll to sit small. The F&M only for the rich and not for the poor. Good afternoon, Mr. Monica. Your spiritual advisor should be tired of singing for his supper. What's wrong with these people?
Y'all stand up to that. Stand up to that. Senator, please tell me where we will find Dr. Sacenta, Dominica, and we can't find any at the clinics and at PMH. Tell spiritual advisor, stop sounding stupid, man. Frankie's news is not fake. It came out of his own mouth. Also, it's good to help Dominica, but why are we doing so much? Come on. We're not the savior for the Caribbean. You need to go tell minister.
Okay, good afternoon, gents. Mr. Monica, please inform your spiritual advisor that anyone who chooses to enter public life opens themselves to widespread criticism. Frankie Campbell has raised his hand to be the next topic of discussion. Bradley Roll has forgotten how to be fair and objective. Where did you get him from? My question is, what is the identification of the second passport? Do we know what is the second passport that the honorable member households? Nobody knows, so it's not safe to assume.
Frankie is more educated than you and me.
Okay.
You know what school he went to?
Okay.
He has a law degree.
I think he went to Bailey. Right?
We're not talking about that
Oh,
school.
high school. You're talking
We're
about, okay.
talking about the school where Marvin been. Where they all got law degree. He has a law degree.
Okay.
Frankie's smarter than us. Not only that, Frankie speaks 7 languages.
But Mr. Monka, since the video of Mr. Campbell came out, the Member of Parliament, the Cabinet Minister, Mr. Campbell, has he yet had a press release or a press conference to clarify it? That is why this now, as I tell you, what our problem was in the Progressive Liberal Party, when information came out, we did not nip it
in the butt.
In the butt
And
quickly.
it caused damage.
And it caused damage.
Okay.
Yes.
Now,
Okay.
if he has nothing to fear, then answer the question and provide the proof.
Frankie knows that in the F&M, they kept it a secret that he was of Haitian descent. He knows that. He knows it.
No, it wasn't no secret.
Tout le monde haïtien.
You let everybody know.
No. Tout le monde haïtien. Ou pas connaît dans F&M là. Yo créé secret là. Leader responsable, pas basement, en pile anglais pour connaître Frankie Campbell gagne 100 haïtiens. 100 haïtiens. And pas j'oublier. Pas j'oublier.
Here we go again. Good afternoon, Mr. Monka. On May 10th, the vote, the F&M. Good afternoon, Mr. Monka. On May 10th, the vote, the F&M in. Will they get a doctor's? I go around Freeport every day. Tear comes to my eye. The F&M went all vote in Freeport, and they forgot about this place.
Yes.
What is going to happen
The
to
only F&M
Freeport?
who's in to Grand Bahama is decent Reverend Frederick McAlpine. The F&M had me convinced that McAlpine was not saved.
Mr. Monka, if you take a look at the F&M's history from 2007 to 2012 under Hubert Ingram, they did nothing for the people in Grand Bahama.
Now be careful, don't attack Papa.
Well, I'm just saying under the government, I'm going by the record of the first, of 2007 to 2012. Their record is almost identical to what we're seeing now in Grand Bahama.
Papa may have missed and didn't do it, okay? Because Papa loved Grand Bahama. Brother Monka, good evening. Tell Prime Minister Minnis he have to cry for us at Clico now. And please send the money over from finance. Brother Monka, good evening. Tell Minnis to cry for us. Rodney, the PLP finished. Ain't no coming back for them. Okay?
Honesty is God's word. When you speak evil, lies to the Bahamian people, this is what the country is facing. Tell this government, put our peoples first. What goes wrong comes wrong. The Bahamian people voted the former administration out, so this is what we're faced with. They can all sit back and watch now. The last laugh is the longest one. All eyes on this administration now. Do your jobs. You asked for it. Now you got it. It's the foreign time, not the Bahamian time. If your country...
We always knew! Hi, okay. Mr. Monka. In all realness, you get me cracking up. Ask spiritual advisor. Can't walk together except they agree. 1 or 2 can't walk together unless they agree. Except, right, he's supposed to be on your side and not make you angry. From Ginger. Ginger, you are my favorite cake. All right?
Let's see. Mr. Monka, every Bahamian must watch and listen very carefully. We have oil existing here in the Bahamas. There's no reason why Bahamians should be poor. We should all benefit from a royalty stipend. This is a very lucrative income.
Mr. Monka, do you know the second passport Mr. Campbell has is a red diplomatic one?
Okay. That's what everybody knows.
Why hasn't
big deal?
Why hasn't he? Why hasn't he said it?
He said that he will clarify it in the House.
F&M need to make you minister of faxing and forking up. God save the Queen.
What?
Send a shout out to Portia Bettle, one of the women them. Portia, you must join me on Saturday the 14th. I am calling a revolutionary army of the woman them, because I am the woman them leader.
Good day, Mr. Monken, spiritual advisor. Awesome show as always. Is the Prime Minister really going to overlook the hundreds of persons in Grand Bahama who are still trying to come to grips from the last hurricane?
Don't you know what the word F&M mean? It was always meant foreign national movement. Don't mind these fellas. Before their term is up, we are going to see that many of these politicians are fakes and frauds, and they will never enter the Bahamian people. Menace has no solution to stimulate our economy, to create jobs, reduce crime, comfort the sick, and bring peace to every heart. So he's going to distract us over Dominica. Menace ain't safe.
Honorable Senator, the person who shot all them people in Vegas is 60 years old.
This is powerful.
That being said, and you 60, are we to fear you too? Are you going to act this at the march?
Not Rodney. That's not Rodney.
Bullock, I thank you for the drone. Okay? Good afternoon, Mr. Monka, spiritual advisor, and Mr. Roberts. Please tell the callers if they are tired of hearing about the Roberts family, come and make themselves useful and save our country. Can't we all get along together? So that's what.
Good evening, Mr. Monker. Do you have the next candidate for mayor in Grantstown?
What a time in Dumfries Church. When the PLP was in power, we worried about Fred Mitchell, okay?
Mr.
Give
Monker.
him a flag. Give him a flag, my spiritual advisor. And give me one. Quickly.
Let's go, let's go.
Spiritual advisor.
Get all you need. This hurricane
come on. You don't know, this flag belong
to the Bahamas.
All of
us. Yes.
Come on.
Proud to be a Bahamian, eh?
Oh, most definitely.
Listen.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.